Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Jamieology. My name is Jamie, and today we are doing an Easter decorate with me. So I hope you'll enjoy joining me for the ride. Where I live, it's still very icy and snowy, but spring is just around the corner and I am so excited for it. So today I'm going to be making 4 different projects that I got all of the supplies for from the Dollar Tree, which is super fun, and I only spent $36 and some cents, which is awesome. The Dollar Tree is literally my favorite place to get decorations, and I got all of this awesome stuff to make things with for only $36, which is incredible. So this will be part 1 of my Easter decorate with me. I will have another Easter decorate with me coming up soon with even more projects and more decorations, so I hope you'll join me for that as well. I ask that you please like and subscribe to continue to support me and help me keep creating these videos for you guys. I absolutely love doing this. And without further ado, let's jump right into our first project. So for this wreath, I needed twine, a wreath ring, some ribbon, flowers, and some Easter eggs. And the first thing that I did for this project is just wrapping twine all the way around the ring until I got back to my starting point. And I just tied the beginning of it to the wreath so that it would stay put and then continued wrapping. And this is a long process, especially if your twine isn't cooperating with you like mine was, but it will be beautiful in the end, I guarantee it. Just gotta trust the process. So once I got all the way back around the wreath, I just cut the end of my twine and finished wrapping the last little bit, and then I tucked the string in and tied a simple knot to secure that in place, cutting off any remaining excess. So with the wreath wrapped, I brought out my flowers, and the way that I added the flowers to the wreath is when you get flowers from the Dollar Tree, they have these little ends that come off that have the flowers on them. So I took all of those little ends off and I stuck them inside of the twine, and I just kind of weaved them together as I was going, making sure all of the flowers were going in the same direction, and I just continued that process all the way around the wreath. I did leave a space at the very top of the wreath, wherever that is for you, because that is where I'm going to put the bow. So the next step was creating the bow, and I got this thick ribbon from the Dollar Tree that had wire in it, which is highly recommended for making your own bows. But I simply tied this by using a book to wrap it around, and then I twisted the 2 parts of the ribbon so that they were going opposite directions. This is just a simple knot. And then simply tied it the way that you would tie a shoe. This can be a little tricky, and it definitely takes quite a bit of rearranging once you have tied your bow to make sure that it looks the way that you want it to, but you will get the hang of it. So once my bow was looking nice, I just cut off a little bit of excess and then slid it off of the book, cutting off the back of the ribbon so that it wasn't hanging off of my wreath. And then I put it on the wreath just to make sure that it looked nice before I went on to gluing everything on with hot glue. So we just got a new hot glue gun, and this worked very well for attaching all of the flowers, but basically what I did is I started by just gluing all of the stems in place where I had stuck it underneath all of the twine, and then once I had that done, I glued down individual flowers as I was going throughout the wreath. And this takes a little bit of time, but it does make sure that all of your flowers stay where you want them to and that they aren't hanging out all over the place. And then I finished by just using some hot glue to attach that final ribbon. I decided to use mine as a decoration for my office door, and I absolutely love it. It just brings a lot of spring into my office. With the wreath done, let's jump into our next project. So this project is super simple, and all you'll need is a flower bin, some fake flowers, and some Easter eggs. And what I did is I started by taking all of the greenery off of the stems that I had used for my wreath, and I just filled up the bottom of the container with those. And then when I was done with that, I added the same flowers that I used on the wreath into this bin, just kind of spreading them out throughout the greenery, adding the extra greenery that I took off of those flowers as well. And once all the flowers were in my container, I added the Easter eggs around, just spreading them out throughout the flowers. And I absolutely love how this turned out. It's just super cute, super simple, and makes a great centerpiece for whatever table you want to put it on. Alright, so let's move on to project 3. So if you saw my March St. Patrick's Day video, I know that you've already seen my rag banners, which I do again for every season. I absolutely love them. But I found these Easter egg garland at the Dollar Tree, and I thought they were just so cute, and I wanted to add them to my rag banner. So that is what I decided to do, and I wanted to show you guys how I did that. If you're interested in the full process of making a rag banner, definitely check out my March St. Patrick's Day video. But something that's different is I did use fabric from the Dollar Tree this time, and I found these really cute patterns that I just loved there, and the fabric was good. It wasn't as good as the fabric that I usually get from Walmart, but it was a little bit cheaper and it worked just the same. I did want to include just a few clips of me making this rag banner just to show you the fabric that I used and a little bit of the process in case you are curious. This truck fabric was absolutely adorable, and I also found this really spring colored kitten fabric that was also adorable, and then the other fabrics that I used were just plain colors: pink, blue, and green. Once my rag banner was assembled, I went over and hung it up on my mantle of the fake fireplace in our apartment. And after I had it hung up, then I attached the egg garland that I got from the Dollar Tree. And I just put it in the middle first to make sure that it was going to be centered, and just draped it along where I had draped the rag banner. I attached it by simply tying the egg garland to the rag banner, which worked out very well. On to our final project. So this project required a pail from the Dollar Tree and some greenery, some pom-poms, and some Easter egg candy. So I tried to use the stems as kind of a filler for the base of this, but they were really hard to cut and they weren't working out very well. If that works for you, you can try that, but it did not work for me. So instead, I decided to grab my green fabric scraps from the rag banner and just stuff those into the bottom, and that seemed to work very well. After that, I cut the stems off of these flowers so that they'd be a little shorter and would fit in the pail better, which fit very well. I cut off 2 of the bottom sections. These stems also took a little bit of work to separate from the flowers, but it wasn't as bad as trying to cut all of the green stems off. You can arrange these flowers however you would like, whatever looks the best to you. And then I just stuck a couple other extra pieces of greenery in there that I had left from my other projects. Once that was all good to go, I grabbed out my pom-poms to make the bunny, which is just super cute with this project. So I grabbed the bigger pom-pom and I hot glued that to the edge of the pail. And then after I had that one attached and secure, I added a smaller pom-pom for the bunny's tail, and I just attached that with hot glue again to the bigger pom-pom. The last step was adding some Easter candy, and I got these double crisp eggs from the Dollar Tree, which worked very well for filling this up, and it also helped hold the bunny up as well. This project also works very well as a centerpiece for a table or a coffee table, which I used mine for, and I just love the way that it turned out. And that is a wrap on part 1 of my Easter Decorate With Me. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe to this video. It really helps me out and helps me keep creating content for you all. Please remember also to look out for part 2 of my Easter Decorate With Me video, which will be coming out very soon. So stay tuned for that. I will see you in my next video.